In the headlines, Dominicans being challenged to take advantage of the multi-million-dollar domain name industry. An increase of over 1,600 calls to the fire and ambulance services in 2016. And more funding for Mass Dominic 2017 and a spectacular showcase on the cards for the event. I am Andrea Lee with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. First up, an increased subvention for Mass Dominic 2017 from the government of Dominica. Minister for Tourism, Senator Robert Tong, made the announcement when he addressed the official media launching of Mass Dominic 2017 on Thursday.
This year, the government of Dominica will increase its annual subvention for the hosting of Carnival to allow for greater marketing of our Carnival product. Hoteliers, service providers, taxi operators, vendors, and others will welcome the increased economic activity generated through the celebration of Mass Dominic. Musicians, songwriters, and band organizers will get a chance to display their creativity and talents and will no doubt enjoy the significant returns on their investments. While we pray and hope for a successful Mass Dominic 2017, I must remind that violence, mischief, and unlawfulness has no part in our celebrations.
Meantime, Director of Tourism Colin Piper says there are new features on the cards for this year's Carnival celebrations.
Let me take this opportunity to mention some of the new developments that you will see this Carnival season. DD and DFC have established a better working relationship with the communities or village carnivals. I am happy to report that we have reached agreement with organizing committees of Portsmouth, Kalinago Territory, St. Joseph, Maho, and Grand Bay that assures the participation in the Roseau National or Traditional Band Parade on Carnival Monday.
Piper says promotion of Dominica's Carnival abroad looks promising.
We've also just confirmed a team to go abroad to St. Martin and to Antigua to begin the overseas promotions. And we're doing this because we have access through Winier coming from St. Martin and obviously Liat through Antigua, and there'll be others planned. So we're using a mix of online media platforms and traditional media to mobilize public support and participation to the festivities.
Carnival City in Portersville will officially be recognized as the Eddie Andre Carnival City for Mass Dominic 2017. And the DFC is expecting to have at least 9 shows hosted at that venue. The theme for this year's Carnival celebrations is Dominic Kidu.
The theme is a call to recognize the wonderful aspects of our culture and life in Dominica. The sub-theme, Tropical Fantasy, gives some focus to the costume builders, bands, and individual masqueraders to use their creativity and imagination to highlight these wonderful elements in an artistic and fantastic way, reflecting the tropical environment we live in. The call to action, come revel with us, and as we say in Creole, Venez jouer Mass Avenue, is an open invitation to persons overseas to come to Dominica for a unique Carnival experience.
The opening parade for Carnival celebrations is Saturday, 4th February. In other top stories, the year 2016 saw an increase of 1,631 fire and ambulance calls. Statistics indicate that 8,673 ambulance and fire calls were reported, out of which 7,042 were recorded for the department.
I can tell you, as it relates to headquarters, the headquarters recorded 90 fire calls for the year. Of the 90, 27 were structural fires. Portsmouth recorded 43. Of the 43, 6 were structural fires. Melville Hall recorded 10 fire calls, and of that 10, 3 were structural fires.
Grand Bay recorded 9 calls, with 3 being structural fires.
St. Joseph recorded 14 fire calls, and of those, 3 were houses. And Casabros recorded 1 fire. And as you know, the Casabros is only serving the district with an ambulance. There's no fire coverage in Casabros. However, they had to respond to a fire call, which is a vehicular fire. 168 fire calls recorded for the department, and 39 of these were structural fires. Compare that with last year. We had a total of 389 fire calls. 48 of those were structural fires.
The Lapland Fire Station was the only station with no recorded fire calls. In other national developments, the National Youth Council plans on placing greater focus on issues affecting the youth, particularly to do with teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, and violence. Communications Officer Paul Barron told the Channel 5 News that the spotlight will be on these issues at the NYC's biannual Youth Congress, which continues on Saturday.
We have also considered the use of alcohol or abuse of alcohol and that of drugs as it relates to having an impact on the lives and the mind and well-being of young people. Of course, in particularly as it relates to violence among youth, or whether it be youth committing violence or youth being victims. Also that of the case of abuse, stopping and ending the violence against abuse for women and that of children. All these things continue to be on the forefront of the National Youth Council, and in terms of advocacy, awareness, but also practicality, because it's one thing to talk about such issues, but it's another thing to really get out there and sort of drive the way forward.
Byron reminded the youth that they need to strive to become well-rounded individuals.
But in order for you to do that, it requires guidance, it requires counsel, it requires your involvement as a young person in your community. Even as far as the church is concerned, I mean, if you want to be well-rounded as a young individual, you have to align yourself with what is positive, what is good. So we are appealing to young persons to end the violence, to sort of curtail the issues that we are confronted with. You know, get involved with your youth groups at the local level. Get involved with your churches and seek to sort of bring about a change in your lifestyles. We can advocate as leaders, myself, Mr. Benoit, and that of John, but we really cannot take somebody's hand and really enforce or sort of try to force any change onto them.
In related matters, the National Youth Council is expected to present a proposal to government for an agricultural enterprise focused on poultry this year. NYC President Josiah Benoit told a press conference on Friday that initially the plan was to focus on rearing cattle. However, he feels that poultry is in keeping with a national focus.
For establishment of a poultry pen that can produce 1,000 broilers every 6 weeks, and we sought technical advice from the Ministry of Employment, from the Division of Agriculture in putting together this proposal. We estimate that it would cost 80,000 EC dollars to complete the proposal, in keeping with what we have seen through the apprenticeship program of the Ministry of Employment. So we are using an established model, and what we hope to do is to build on that success and to engage the young people so that we can see in the years to come many more young persons engaged in the poultry sector, which can help to improve food security and reduce eventually our food import bill.
Coming up, feedback on the impact of a record number of magistrates in Dominica's legal system. That and more after the break. Welcome back. The Dominican public is being urged to help shape the internet for their benefit. The call came from Executive Director of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, NTRC, Craig Nesty, on the heels of the recent ICANN readout in Dominica. The ICANN readout was a follow-up session to ICANN's 57th meeting in India last November. ICANN, the Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers, is the organization that manages the translation of domain names, example.com, .dm, etc., to a number that is an IP address.
Within that process, though, there are a number of elements around the Internet that deserves discussion as it shapes the way the Internet is transformed moving forward. And what we found is the small island developing states like Dominica, St. Lucia, and so forth, our voices are not heard on the international stage. So the ICANN meetings they have 3 times a year, they make allowances to discuss these events and bring in stakeholders from all over the world. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have anyone from Dominica attend ICANN in Hyderabad, India, November 2016. So what we did was we sort of brought ICANN to Dominica at the Garaway Hotel. So Dominicans could get a sense of what happens in India, what happened in India, and where they can participate in shaping the Internet and moving forward.
Nesty pointed out that the domain name business is a profitable industry and small island developing states need to find a way to benefit from this industry.
It's like .xyz, for example, is a multi-million-dollar firm right now. So what are the restrictions to the citizenry of the small island developing states from actively participating in domain name industry and creating a business around that with some of the issues that we discussed at the event? And what is our position on that? Do we need ICANN to subsidize the domain name cost for the small island states? Because to get a .calypso as a top-level domain, it will cost us $185,000 US. Is that something that makes sense for these small economies?
Nesty is encouraging those who are interested to find out about ICANN and how it can help Dominica's economic development.
Normally we miss out on the ICANN meeting because we don't apply for fellowships. There are fellowships that are given to participants who want to apply. We don't participate in the online discussions. We need to show that we have an interest. We need to know that it's out there first. So for anyone who does not know about ICANN, I encourage them to Google it, ICANN, just Google ICANN, and go on there and see all of the issues that are being discussed and whether there's an issue that interests you. The new domain names that are formed, the revenues generated from that are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And ICANN is now looking for ways to spend that money. And the at-large societies from different countries are all putting their bids forward as to what they need that money for. But we don't even have a society yet. So we're not putting any bids forward as to how we can tap into that fund. So these are things that we need to address.
On to legal developments. Chief Magistrate Candia Carrett George believes the delivery of justice is much quicker with a record of 8 magistrates working in Dominica. Additionally, she says that the allocation of more office space to the magistracy is a boost to productivity.
But I am pleased to report that in 2016, that Cabinet came to our rescue and the 2 vacant positions that existed within the magistracy were filled. Magistrate Gail Royer, who was previously a magistrate, retired, agreed to come back to work with us in the magistracy, and also Ms. Pearl Williams, who was a state attorney, was upgraded to the position of magistrate. So those 2 vacant positions were filled. But they not only met with our expectations, but exceeded them in that 2 additional magisterial positions were created during 2016. And these positions have been filled by His Honor Magistrate Asquith Riviere, who was also a retired magistrate, worked here for a while, worked in Antigua for a while, and now he's back with us to give some service to his country. And also lay magistrate Mr. Hansel Valerie was appointed.
Specialized courts have also been created and they can sit more regularly.
Court number 3 is located at our Independence Street branch. The family court, or the court which operates as a family court, has been moved to the Independence Street branch. Her Honor Magistrate Gloria Augustus presides over that court. And this court deals with family, domestic violence, juvenile matters for the most part, maintenance matters. And that court sits from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day. Previously, the court did not sit every day. There were days allocated, but because of the increased number of magistrates, that court is now able to sit every day. Court number 3 switches in the afternoons from 2 p.m. Into a court that deals with traffic matters, and His Honor Mr. Hansel Valerie mans that court. The court sits from 2 and it goes into the evening. Previously, traffic matters were dealt with in court number 3 on 1 or 2 days a week. Now traffic matters are heard every day, and this is lending itself to more speedy access to justice.
General Manager of the WASCO, Bernard Etinoff, says the communities of Kulibistri and Monrachet could have a more reliable water supply by mid-February 2017. He told the Channel 5 News that work is ongoing to repair the Kulibistri water intake, and residents of these communities are presently being served through the Picard intake of the West Coast water supply system.
That in itself is unreliable. It disrupts the water from Portsmouth, but it's also unreliable in the sense that it doesn't really make its way up to the upper reaches in Monrachet as efficiently as we would have liked. So we have been using our truck as well to provide service to the people of Monrachet. People complain that the water quality is compromised. As far as I know, the truck is disinfected before we transport water. Water coming from Portsmouth is generally good quality. We do rely on surface water, and because of the interruptions from Tropical Storm Erica, water tend to get turbid a little faster than normal. So I'm not disputing the fact that sometimes the water is not as crystal clear as it could have been. You know, not that the quality is all that poor either, but the coloration, or the discoloration if you like, is not pleasant sometimes, very pleasant to the eyes. And the settlement that people see in the buckets, and you know, is unpleasant. And we are working to resolve those things, as I indicated. If adequate storage now being put in by the government and the DVRP, we would see much improvement into that.
According to Etinoff, the Kulibistri intake was totally destroyed following Tropical Storm Erica. And 4 Haitian students are now able to attend school through a foundation set up by Haitian Dominican businessman Louis Axeus. The owner of King's Garments says his homeland is still reeling from the impact of a major earthquake 7 years ago. Axeus's goal is to also assist Haitian students living on island.
If we send $400 when they change it, that can do a big thing. So what I believe so far, for more people to come on board, not only leave King's Garments as a company to assist and help. Now, if more people come on board, we can do more. And if I receive more business too, because remember, the King's Garments Limited is the one overall of this foundation. So that means if I get in, not if, sure, I will get more business this year, where I can take a percentage to assist more people in Haiti, also in Dominica too.
Axeus says every month a percentage from his earnings has to be donated to the foundation, and he is calling on local businesses to pitch in.
So we have some children in Haiti, and we send money for them and to pay school for them. We cannot do much, but the good thing about it, to start. When you start, and tomorrow if they have more opportunity, I can assist more, I will do it. Because I believe this company is an opportunity we have here as Asian people, and we have a company, and the Dominican people, they really support us.
Over 220,000 people died and 300,000 were injured from the earthquake in 2010. That's news. Stay tuned for your sports highlights. Sports begins with football, where there were wins for Trafalgar Football Club and East Central in the DFA Division 1 League on Thursday. Trafalgar dominated play in their match against All Saints Football Club 2-0. Dubla went down to East Central 1-3. And there was no play at Portsmouth since Haitian Angels failed to show up for the match. Meantime, in Sunday's doubleheader at Newtown, Police Sports Club will go head-to-head with Club Loubier from 3, followed by a face-off between St. Mary's Cooperative Credit Union Delton United and Gully Dream Team at 5 in the afternoon. Taking a look at matches in the Flow Premier League, on Saturday, Geneva will be the grounds for the battle between the Bath Estate and Wacky Rollers football clubs at 3. And Sunday's games will feature matches between Sagicor Southeast and Petro Caribe Point Michel at Geneva from 3. Exodus Football Club and the Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers will go head-to-head at Dubla from 4 in the afternoon. In other football news, the 2017 Sports Division Secondary Schools Football Championships return with the finals of the 13 and under game on Monday. Dominic Grammar School and Portsmouth Secondary School have booked spots in the finals from well-deserved wins in the semis. PSS beat St. Mary's Academy 2-1 on penalty kicks, while DGS won their match convincingly with a 4-0 pounding against the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School. The 13 and under Secondary Schools Football Championship was introduced by the Sports Division in 2013 as a way to cater for the high influx of under-13 footballers who graduate annually from the primary school's under-13 football program. The finals is set for 3 p.m. at the Windsor Park Stadium. Sports continues with handball, where the Dominica Handball Association will be hosting a festival among schools on Sunday. The competition will feature 5 schools in the male and female categories, namely Dominica Grammar School, Portsmouth Secondary School, the Northeast Comprehensive School, Wesley High School, and the Dominica State College. The games begin at 2 p.m. On to fencing now, where President of the local governing body on fencing says 2016 was a learning process for the sport and there are big plans for 2017. His comments following a recent donation of fencing equipment compliments the International Fencing Federation.
2016 was a springboard year for us, and we're surely looking forward to 2017. The day you saw me at the port, I was receiving some new equipment that we had that was donated by the International Federation, which we're very happy about. So, you know, as I said, we have an exciting year ahead of us. We have quite a few activities planned, including our first tournament for the year, which will be held in 2 weeks, January 28th. And then we're also having hopes that we can send a fencer to the Pan American Junior Cadet Championships, which will be held in Cuba next month.
He says while fencing has gotten more attraction over time, there is still room for improvement.
It's been kind of mixed because I mean, you'll be surprised how many people still don't know that fencing exists on the island. But yet we've had, you know, several public events. For us, we just have to keep on with the media and keep on, advertising our events and getting coverage.
Finally, we can tell you that 4 teams have gone undefeated in the White Oak Domino League so far and will be matched up with stiff opponents this Sunday. In Zone A, Rockers and Public Enemies will go head-to-head at Maho on Saturday at 6 p.m. Both teams have gone undefeated so far. Games continue on Sunday between One Case and Tremors, both from Dodan and both currently undefeated. Heats will come up against Congori Warriors at Marigot. Dominic Bay Boys versus Penville at Tarish Pit, and Petit Savan will take on Fire Services at the Roseau Fire Station. In Zone B, we have Wake Up Stars going head-to-head against La Plaine in Portsmouth, Dolphins taking on Strikers in the Kainago territory, Layu versus non-players in Castle Bruce, Itasi Stars taking on Galleons in Viejas, and Mont Zion versus Stars at Mahu. Your weekend weather forecast is next.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am your presenter, Annie Corrett Joseph. The Atlantic high pressure system was the dominant feature across the region today, and this resulted in a relatively dry and stable atmosphere. Visible satellite imagery showed some low-level clouds over Dominica during the course of the afternoon. Radar imagery indicated some scattered showers mainly over the southern portion of the island chain. Conditions for tonight: fair to partly cloudy with brief showers, and similar weather conditions can be expected for tomorrow. Sea conditions, slight to moderate in open water with waves expected to be up to 5 feet. However, an increase in swells can be expected to affect the west coast by tomorrow Saturday afternoon into Sunday. Taking a look at the next 3 days, Saturday and Sunday, beautiful conditions, fair to partly cloudy with some few scattered showers. However, on Monday, a trough system is expected to traverse the area, resulting in an increase in cloudiness and shower activity. Across the region tomorrow, fair to partly cloudy skies with brief showers can be expected over the northern and central portions of the chain. However, cloudy skies with some showers can be expected over the extreme southern portion. On the international scene, cloudy skies in New York, partly cloudy skies in Miami, clear skies in London and in Beijing, and partly cloudy skies with rain in Caracas. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:36 a.m. and set at 5:58 p.m. For up-to-date information, log on to our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and join us next time. Good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. Dominicans being challenged to take advantage of the multi-million-dollar domain name industry. An increase of over 1,600 calls to the fire and ambulance services in 2016. And more funding for Mass Dominic 2017 and a spectacular showcase on the cards for the event. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend.